Today we will discuss about the functions or methods in Java. Earlier, the mobile phones were available with a single SIM facility only. At that time, the people were used to carry two mobile phones at the same time because one is not responding properly. The communication could be established with the help of another one. That is very difficult and it is as well as it's not cost effectively. Okay. Nowadays, the companies are manufacturing the mobiles with a dual SIM facility. That means we can insert two SIMs in one mobile. It is reducing that previous days problem. Similarly, in Java also, when you are working with a big program, we need to enter group of statements in different blocks. To reduce this problem, we can enter group of statements in one block and we can reuse it. That we can use this property with the help of functions. That is the use of a function. To do the specific task, we are using functions. In the case of a banking system, it is a large system, but there are different subsystems. What are they? Deposit, withdrawal, and loan section, and the banking system is divided into separate subsystems. Okay, that subsystems are called in terms of functions or methods in Java. Okay, we can do different or we can perform different tasks with the help of functions. And if you are giving a name to this group of statements, with a block we will keep this block of statements. If you are giving a name to this block of statements, we can recall it into the program. If you want, wherever you want, that time you can recall this group of statements with the help of this name. That name is called a function name. Okay, I will explain it with the help of an example. Please look at on the board. Here there is a program. This program is used to there are some statement. It is used to calculate the addition of 1 to m numbers. I used one for loop to calculate this one, and sum is equal to sum plus I, and system dot out. At last we will get the final answer, the addition of these numbers. That is not important. I had given some statements. And next time, if you want to find out the number of additions or sum from 1 to n numbers, here I used m numbers. Okay, up to n numbers. Next time, if you want to find out the sum of n numbers, again you have to write these statements. Okay, instead of writing the statements again and again, we can give these statements into one block and we can give them with the help of a name. If you save it, we can reuse these statements. Okay, then I will give one name here like this way, void addition. This is the function name. With the bracket we can give the statements. If you are giving like this way and if you are keeping like this way, we can reuse the statements with the help of by calling this function name. Okay, this is the use of a function. I think you have understood the meaning of function. Then next I will explain what are the things we need to declare a function or define a function. Okay, here I displayed how can you define a function. What are the main parts when we define a function? First one is access specifier. Second one is return type. Third one, function name. Fourth one, parameter list. With the help of an example, I explain this one. Okay, I will explain this one. First one, access specifier. Here I had given public. And for the return type, I had given void. And for the function name, I had given addition. Okay, addition. Then the function name here, addition. Function name is addition. And for the parameter list, I had given int a comma int b. Okay, this is an example for function definition. I will explain detail. Okay, the first one is access specifier. We have in Java we have three types of access specifiers. What are they? First one is public, and second one is private, and third one is protect. Okay, what is the use of public access specifiers? If you declare this function as a public access specifier, we can access this function out of the class also. Out of the class members also can access this function. Okay, and if you declare as a private access specifier, this function can access only inside the class members or the class members only, not outside the class members. Okay, out of the class members. Okay, only the class members can access this function when you declare as a private member. And if it is a protect member, what's the difference? Protect member means if we can inherit the ones inherit subclasses from superclass that we already studied, inheritance property of object oriented programming. Okay, and if you inherit one subclass from a superclass, we are using this protect access specifier because some permitted members can only access this members. That is the meaning of this protect. Okay, if we are giving some permission to some members, that members only can access this function. That is the use of this protect keyword. Once more I am explain. Public is used to access giving the access to out of the class members, but private is used to access only inside the class members, but protect is used to access those members have the permission or inherited class members can access this function. These are the three different types of access specifiers. You can use any type of them, but if you are not writing, not giving this access, if you are not giving this access specifier, it will consider as public access specifier. That means by default the access specifier will be considered as public. Okay, public is the default access specifier. And what's the next one? Return type. What's the meaning of return type? When you are doing a program, after doing that function, we will get an output or we will get an result of that function. For example, after doing this operation, we need to print or we need to give the answer to the programmer. Okay, how can you give? Sometimes we can give using the help with the help of this keyword. Return is a keyword. With the help of this keyword, we can give the outcome of this function like this way. Okay, this is, I told you, this is a keyword, and we can give one value or one outcome to the user, and you have to write the return values data type here. At that time you have to write the data type of this return value here. What is the data type of this return value? Int. Then you have to write int here. This is called the return type. Which value we are returning or we are giving as an outcome, that values data type you have to write in the return type part. Okay, if you are using a return keyword, if you are giving as a float data type, you have to write here float. Okay, which value you are giving as a return value, and please remember that we can return only one value at a time, one return value, and if you are giving more return keyword, it will take the first one only. Okay, and for different statements we can or different outcomes we can give different return keyword, but for one purpose we are giving only one return statement, and it will take the first only, and here we are giving only one return keyword. And if you are not giving this one, instead of this one, if you are giving, if you want to print this outcome, we are usually giving system dot out dot println. Okay, statement sum. Then if there are no return keyword, what we will give in this part? We can give as void, because here there is no return keyword. If in a function, if there is no return keyword, we can give the return type as void by default. If nothing is there, by default, the void will come. That means a void is the default return type. I think you all understood what is meant by return type. Okay. And next one is function name. We can give any function name here, but don't use spaces. And you should follow the rules when you are giving a function name as the variable name rules. Okay. We know don't use spaces and start with letter. You can use numbers also and underscore, dollar symbol like that characters also we can use. But don't use other special characters. But and here in between the function name, don't use the space also. Okay. Follow the rules of variable naming also. And usually we are giving the related function names. Don't give others name and all. Usually we can give the related names. That means what duty you are doing or what type of task you are doing here. The related name you have to give here also. Okay. That is that will give a professional look. Now we will discuss about the features of return statements. Okay. Let's consider one example. Okay, see this example. Int s is equal to 0, s is equal to m plus n. After that, I had written one statement, return s. Okay. If you write after this return statement, it will not work because, okay, it will not work. This is the final statement of a function. Okay. After this return statement, don't write any other statements. This is the first rule of return statement. Okay. And next one, if you are giving like this, p is equal to m minus n and return s comma p. Don't give more than one value with the return keyword. Okay, this is also wrong. You can give one value with a return keyword. Okay, and you can give p here. At a time, you can give one value or s here. Any one value you can return. But if you are using a return keyword, only one value or only one outcome will come from one function. Because of that, you have to give only one value here, one variable here. Okay, don't give more than one variable. Okay, next one. And if you are giving like this source, this is also wrong. If you are giving more than one return keyword, the first only will take. Only the first return keyword will take. This on take. Okay. That means this is wrong. You have to give only one return keyword. Don't give more than one return keyword. I think you understood. This is also wrong. And if you are giving like this, if A greater than B, return A, else return in one function, you can give like this way. Because we are following, if the condition is true, we will follow this return. If the condition is wrong, we will follow this statement. Okay. That means if you have more than one conditions are there, you can give different return keywords. That means for one return keyword, you need one condition. And for another return keyword, we need another condition. This is correct. We can give like this way. Okay. But for one condition, don't give more than one return keyword. If you are giving more than one return keywords, they will take only one return value. I think you all understood about this return keyword and the features of return keyword. Consider one more example. For int I is equal to 1, I less than or equal to 10, I plus plus. This loop is used to enter or get the natural numbers, 1 to 10 natural numbers. But here we have one condition. If I greater than 5, return I. That is one statement. return I, and one more statement system dot println I. And for the first one, it will start from 1. For the first 5 numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These numbers are less than 5. That means this condition is false. Then it will follow this statement. That means it will print this much values. Okay. And whenever you met this condition is true. That means if I greater than 5 means when you take the value as 6, the condition is true. Then it will follow this statement. What is the statement? Return I. That means 6. Okay. Then after this statement, it will exit this loop. That means it will not execute any other statements or any other values of this loop, because whenever you give this return statement, if it is working, then after that no other statements will not be executed after the return statement. This statement is, we are giving these statements to end of the ending the function. That means this is the last statement of any function. If you are giving a return keyword, that is the ending function, or it is used to get an outcome from that function. Because of that, if the condition is true, it will follow this statement. That means after, if it is working, after this one, this loop will not execute. Up to here only it will execute. I think you all understood this thing. That means return keyword is used to finalize your function. Okay. These are the different functions or different features of return statement. Please share to others, and this is very useful for others when you are studying this Java programming. This is very helpful for understanding about these functions and methods or functions and all. And if you want to get my previous videos and previous programs, please subscribe my channel. And if you want to get the next videos notification, please press on that bell button or enable that bell button. Okay, we will meet in the next video. Bye bye.